Welcome back everyone, welcome back to the Little Red Ninja Allotment channel. Well, I've had a busy week, but not on the allotment. But I've come over for a couple of hours and I'm just checking a few things and tidying up a few things like the tomatoes, which I'll show you in a minute. But first job I had to do was clear out this bed, ready for all the veg that I've got ready to go into this raised bed. And I've got all sorts to go in here. I've got chard, I've got kale, I've got leeks to go in. Yes, leeks. I know they might be late going in, but I leave them to the end of July, beginning of August, so they can get going and I can have a good crop, which I normally do every year. But this is all sorted now. I've added a few of my liquid feeds into it. I've got onions still here. I've got one big lettuce that I need to harvest and get rid of. Over here I've got beetroot. Some are ready, some are not, and they're all the same variety. So I'm quite perplexed about that. Like that one there has hardly grown, but the rest of them have just romped away and are nearly ready. Down here I've got celery, and one trick that I've learned: don't put celery in the middle of lettuces, because it stunts their growth. Well, that's what I've learned, so I won't be doing that again. And since I've done that, the celery has doubled in size. There's a few brown leaves which I'll just clip away, but majority are doing all right. The ones in the polytunnel are even better, but I'll show you that next week in a video, which I'll probably have a couple of videos in the week, so looking forward to that. And my potatoes, which I've checked, there are some brown leaves, as you can see there, but overall, if I go closer, the potatoes are doing fantastic. They usually get battered by the wind and the rain, but they're holding their own at the moment. They're getting plenty of water, so the stems are really strong, and that tells me one thing: hopefully I'll get a good crop of potatoes, which is really good. But at the end, in those two buckets, I've got my own seed potatoes, which I will dig out sometime next week, and I'll show you how well they've done. Hopefully I'll have a good crop from my own seed potatoes. But yes, I'm just gonna go and have a drink, and then I'm gonna show you how I'm doing with my tomatoes, giving them a haircut. So be right back. Right then, here we go. Here are my tomatoes, and I haven't finished giving them a haircut, but as you can see, if I go to the top of where the tomatoes are, especially this plant here, you've got more potatoes, come on Paul, you've got more tomatoes, then you have foliage. Don't worry, that is not a problem. That is not a problem, because if you have half a dozen branches of leaves, that is more than enough to sustain the plant. And as you can see with the tomatoes down the bottom, they're doing really well. I've got some really good trusses off of this one plant, and I've got 9 in total. And I'll look on that one's doing okay, that one is doing okay, even though it's quite a small plant. but I don't mind that. It can be ginormous, it could be 8 foot tall and have not many tomatoes. That one is probably about 3 feet and has got just as many on there as it has on that one. So what I got to do is finish giving this a haircut and hopefully come back at the end of the video and show you the reason why I give it a haircut. And there is one thing I do want to show you, and I think it's a world record on this plot. Not anyone else, just on this plot. I think I've broken a world record, especially for what I grow. So let's go and have a look at this world record of mine. So let's crack on. And the world record is the carrots I sowed in last week's video. They have already germinated, and I've counted back from when I did sow these carrot seeds, and it has taken 5 weeks. Not 5 weeks, come on, 5 days. 5 weeks wouldn't be a world record. As you can see there, they're doing all right. They've had plenty of moisture because we've had loads of rain, and that's the one good thing. Especially if it rains, you got to keep the carrot seed damp. Well, it's been more than damp, it's been absolutely saturated, but near enough every seed has germinated, so I'm well happy with this. Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back, Paul. That's done really well. Like all the reserve plants over there have done really well. They've just blossomed, well, not blossomed, they've just grown with the extra rain that we've been having. Saves me watering, which is a good thing. Yeah, as you can see over here, the squashes are doing okay, and the radishes and the dill have started to sprout, and they've started to show themselves. So happy with that as well. But let's crack on with giving the tomatoes a bit of a haircut, a bit more of a haircut, and I'll get back to it and see you in a moment. So let's crack on. Now here we go, all sorted, haircut done. A few buckets full with foliage, 4 in total, which have gone into the compost bin, all chopped up. But as you can see in between each plant. I might need to tie that branch there, but I might leave it today because the rain is coming again. But as you can see, with giving your tomatoes a haircut, you're able to have airflow in between your plants, and it is beneficial, especially if you've got them in a greenhouse, polytunnel, conservatory, or even just undercover. You've done a temporary shelter for your tomatoes. It's always good to have airflow because it stops viruses. I've done it in the past where I've not given my tomatoes a haircut, and I've had an absolute stinker of a tomato crop. But when I do a haircut, I really get a good crop. And last year, where I was doing it with my homemade feed and not tomato right, I had absolute best crop. I've not done the tomato plants this year, but I've done exactly the same, and the tomatoes are near enough the same size. And that feed is passata sauce. Yep, passata sauce. so much cheaper than Tomato Right or any of the feeds that professional gardeners tell you to buy. I get Passata and it works a treat. It absolutely works. It socks off. Yeah, you heard it. Tomato feeding a tomato. But less of that. I'm quite happy with what I've done. I'm going to do a few more jobs. Got to just double check the carrot seeds that are sowed. That were definitely world record. And get things ready for planting over there in that. So that will be one of the next jobs, is to replant all that, because I've put all the relevant stuff in there. I might need another bag of compost, because my own compost is not ready just yet. I want to leave it for a month or so, but all in all, quite happy with what's going on the plot. So until next time, this is Paul from the Little Red Ninja Allotment channel, and I'll see you in the next video, where I will be showing you those potatoes. So fingers crossed, these potatoes will be good. So until then, look after yourself. Don't get wet with all this rain wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.